Chapter 1 A broken stone treasure, vast plains, countless mountains and valleys, the dense ancient forest impervious even to the midday sun, swirling miasma obscured the path, and terrifying roars echoed through the gloom.
Deep within the ancient forest, a faint scent of blood hung in the air. Qing Yang Huan withdrew the stone spear from the black, scaled python's body. A flash of bloody light emanated from the spear, draining the remaining flesh from the python.
Leaving only bleached bones, he swift only moments later a pale green wolf with sharp fangs crashed through the undergrowth, appearing before the python's remains, sensing the brutal aura behind him. Qing Yang Huan increased his pace.
Running for several miles, father was right. The 100-mile radius of the ancient forest is the furthest I can safely venture. Beast-kin of the casting body realm are numerous. If I accidentally encounter a mutated species, I'll be in serious trouble.
I wonder if the spear will still work. His body moved like an agile mountain ape through the forest. This is the Great Wasteland, fraught with peril. One misstep and it's certain death. After absorbing so much blood and bone, when will it be satisfied?
That python alone would feed a child in the tribe for a month. Muttering resentfully, Qing Yang Huan quickened his pace. Had seized this opportunity during the tribe's hunt to slip away from the tribal guards and venture deep into the forest. His purpose?
The stone spear, it's a treasure! 3 years ago, in this same wild ancient forest, a monstrous beast of the Xuanhuan bloodline chased him for dozens of miles, finally cornering him at the foot of a low, ancient mountain.
Just as the Xuanhuan was about to pounce, a flicker of fear appeared in its eyes, and it fled in panic, its tail between its legs. In that instant, he vaguely saw a fleeting purple light shimmering around him. Later, the entire ancient mountain was hollowed out,
and the surrounding ancient trees were all felled by the Qing Yang clan, and that's how this stone spear came into his possession. The spear was crudely made, barely resembling a spear, yet the stone was as hard as iron, covered in fine.
As if about to shatter, even so in his hands, it could shatter the scales of a formidable beast. This was why he knew the spear was different. Human cultivation involves absorbing the essence of powerful beasts, even the blood and chi of other races,
to nourish themselves. He had never heard of a weapon absorbing blood and bone, even after scouring the bone books and bronze scrolls of the Qing Yang clan's history.
This vast and boundless wilderness is home to all manner of powerful creatures. Some beasts are terrifyingly strong, capable of wiping out even the largest tribes, numbering hundreds of thousands or even millions in an instant. Moreover,
this land is not solely inhabited by humans. Humanity is merely one of the larger tribes, but not the dominant one. Therefore, over the long ages, countless legends have arisen, monstrous beasts as large as mountains.
Alien races with green eyes and sharp fangs, divine weapons that cleave the heavens, all woven into the tapestry of the ancient wilderness. Fortunately, his area has not encountered such powerful monsters, within a radius of thousands of miles.
The Qing Yang clan is the largest tribe, protecting hundreds of smaller tribes and settlements under their wing, and he was the young master of the Qing Yang clan. Qing Yang Huan! A few more ferocious beasts and then he'll go back.
Otherwise the tribesmen might start searching the forest again. Gripping his stone spear, Qing Yang Huan plunged back into the ancient forest. Although he was the young master of the Qing Yang clan, his hands were already stained with blood.
In the cruel environment of the Great Wasteland, only by mastering power could one truly survive. From birth, he had enjoyed the best medicinal herbs and the essence of ferocious beast blood to temper his body, and naturally,
he had undergone even more brutal training. There was no other reason, because he was the young master of the Qing Yang clan, and to survive in this savage land and maintain peace for tens of thousands of miles around.
The heirs of the Qing Yang clan had to undergo such bloody trials to ensure the survival of Qing Yang in this cruel environment. Countless tribes in the Great Wasteland were the same.
The accumulation of the clan's best resources allowed him to reach the first stage of cultivation, body forging and blood refining, at the age of 13.
Body forging was the first step for all living creatures in the Great Wasteland to embark on the path of cultivation. This stage refines the skin, flesh, blood, bones, and marrow, forging the strongest body at least for the vast majority of warriors.
Truly ancient clans with their own legacies would use the essence of different species' blood as medicine, combined with their unique cultivation methods, to refine the entire body even better.
They could awaken the power within the essence of foreign blood and bones, extracting bone patterns to manifest various miraculous appearances. He possessed a Xuanhuan bone mark within him,
a legacy from the Xuanhuan offspring that had hunted him 3 years prior. His father had driven it off and dealt with it, and he in turn had absorbed the blood and bone of the entire beast, resulting in a bone mark imprinted within his body,
ready to be activated upon the surge of his blood energy. For ordinary clans, even settled villages, reaching the casting body stage by the age of 20 was a tremendous blessing. The essence of a bloodline from a monstrous beast was a mere fantasy. Yet,
for him this was only a starting point. Of course, this starting point was relative. compared to the entirety of the Laxi ancient land, or even the vast wilds.
The descendants of the ancient clans with their powerful lineages enjoyed starting points he could only look up to. Qing Yang Huan, traveling through the ancient forest, was suddenly targeted by a shadowy form in the air, scaled.
A black eagle with scales covering its body and a single horn, its scales faintly gleaming with a subtle luminescence. Seeing that glimmer, Qing Yang Huan's eyes widened in surprise. Ordinary scaled horned eagles didn't exhibit such a phenomenon.
This one clearly possessed a trace of awakened bloodline power, barely qualifying as a variant, possibly even yielding a bone mark. The monstrous offspring in the wilds was so terrifying precisely because of the innate bone marks within their bodies.
Marks that resonated with the Tao of heaven and earth, granting them immense power, the power to destroy ancient cities. At that moment, a surge of vital energy erupted from Qing Yang Huan's body. A brilliant light bloomed in his palm,
outlining an ancient rune that pulsed and shimmered, as if a ferocious beast were about to burst forth. In that instant his vital energy swelled dramatically. The energy coursed through the stone spear, striking at the descending talons.
A deafening roar followed as the scaled hawk was sent flying, scattering branches and debris. Qing Yang Huan himself was thrown back several meters, crashing into an ancient tree. Yet, without a moment's hesitation, Qing Yang Huan attacked again.
Using the stone spear like a club, bringing it down with brutal force, paffed! With a single blow, the black iron-like scales shattered, spraying blood that stained his robes. The scaled hawk's head was pulverized into bloody pulp, unsurprisingly.
The stone spear flashed with bloody light once more, beginning to absorb the blood. No, this beast has awakened a trace of its bloodline. I might be able to extract a bone rune, quickly. Qing Yang Huan tried to pull out the spear, but it was stuck fast.
Stop! But in the instant of the exclamation, the entire scaled hawk was reduced to nothing but skin and bones. On the stone spear, a drop of blood essence, interwoven with threads of azure light, adhered to the surface suddenly.
A faint azure light burst forth, revealing a small fist-sized azure bird, surrounded by a shimmering azure glow. It was lifelike and exuded a ferocious aura, stirring up a miniature whirlwind within its immediate vicinity with its constant roaring.
It truly awakened its bloodline. What a treasure! Qing Yang Huan rejoiced, but his smile froze on his lips as the blood essence seeped into the stone spear through a crack. If father knew I fed this blood essence to you,
he'd smash you to pieces and dig the essence out. Qing Yang Huan immediately clutched the stone spear, his voice urgent. You thief! This was a rare species, enough to extract bone markings from. If we sent it back to the tribe,
a child could have inherited bone markings. Finally, Qing Yang Huan calmed down. The deed was done. He decided to keep this a secret. If the tribe found out he'd fed the blood essence, capable of drawing bone markings,
forget the waste. He'd become the laughingstock of the tribe. Just then, a searing heat ignited in his palm, and the stone spear directly knocked the weapon from his hand. Bang! Caught off guard, Qing Yang was driven into the ancient tree behind him.
I earned this blood essence through my own skill. Why would you call it stealing? The stone spear hovered, faint purple energy flickering within the fine cracks, like illusory purple dragons swirling within. Chapter 2, A Stroke of Fortune appeared.
3 years later, Qing Yang Huan saw that purple light again, swirling in the cracks of the stone spear, faint as a thread. Bang! 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 However, the next moment the stone spear struck again.
Amidst the banging of the stone spear, Qing Yang Huan's curses echoed, but no matter how hard he struggled, he couldn't escape. He'll fight you to the death. He was merely a 13-year-old boy, yet.
The blows from the spear ignited a furious rage within Qing Yang Huan, a rage that was instantly extinguished. Bang! 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 The stone spear rained down on him, each strike infused with a faint purple light that penetrated his body,
shattering even the runes formed from the essence of the Qiongqi blood and bone. His skin didn't wrinkle, his flesh didn't glow, his blood didn't shimmer, his bones didn't gleam. Instead, foul blood stagnated within him, a complete failure, human brat.
How dare you fight? By now, Qing Yang Huan's beast hide robe bulged with lumps, every pore dilated, oozing faintly with foul blood that soaked through his garment. He quickly sensed the change in his body, his pores expanding,
foul blood draining away. Wait, at that moment, Qing Yang Huan realized something. He was sensing the spear's intent. The stone spear, it is alive! Ignoring the throbbing pain that shot through his body, Qing Yang Huan exclaimed.
The flash of purple light from all those years ago had left an indelible mark on his heart. I knew it was a treasure, they say, where purple mist gathers. And now, that conviction has become reality. It truly is a treasure. Bang!
But the next moment, the stone spear slammed back into the ground, taking a mouthful of dirt. As he scrambled to his feet, he discovered his fur robe was stuck to his body, caked in filth tinged with a faint trace of blood. This
is the impure blood within me. His eyes widened in disbelief. As the young master of the Qing Yang clan, He had unparalleled access to body forging elixirs, surpassing all the smaller tribes and clans within 1,000 li.
Even the clans of the La Mountain ancient lands, thousands of li from Qing Yang, were only his equals in body forging techniques. Only the ancient clans of La Mountain City, with their totemic inheritances, could possibly surpass him. He finally understood.
The constant blows from the stone spear were meant to open his meridians, though the method was rather crude. His blood-soaked body was covered in welts, each pore dilated. Though his whole body ached, he felt remarkably clearer. That, hesitating.
Qing Yang Huan looked at the stone spear hovering before him, his throat working several times before he could speak. You awakened me, and I helped you clear the stagnant blood in your body. We're even! The next moment.
Qing Yang Huan lunged forward and grabbed the stone spear. No, for 3 years I've absorbed dozens of casting body realm beasts. How can that be even? No, absolutely not. Qing Yang Huan hastily replied, since he could remember.
The elders of his tribe had told him stories about the great wilderness of divine weapons possessing the power to cleave the heavens, weapons that contained weapon spirits. To nurture a weapon spirit, the weapon had to belong to at least a totem realm expert.
Totem realm experts were beyond even his father's spirit capture realm. Such beings only existed in the Lashan ancient land. The current governor of Lashan ancient city was a totem realm expert, appointed Lashan Marquis,
tasked by the human race to govern the tens of thousands of miles of Lashan ancient land. This weapon is comparable to a totem mirror master's might. Even his father would be suppressed if he faced it head-on, clutching the stone spear tightly.
Qing Yang Huan refused to let go. Totem mirror masters. The last time the Qing Yang clan saw such a powerful individual was a millennium ago. The more he thought about it, the more he realized he couldn't let go. Yes, he absolutely could not let go.
The elders of the clan had said that even the soul of a weapon wielded by a totem mirror master only possessed rudimentary sentience. This stone spear, however, already possessed a mind. It was more like a person. It might even surpass totem weapon.
He absolutely couldn't let go. A master who transcended the totem mirror realm in the entire Lashan ancient land was merely a legend. Transcending the totem mirror realm wasn't just a legend, it was a myth. Today, this myth might be reborn. He couldn't let go.
Besides, I dug you out from the depths of the earth, otherwise, you might have remained buried in the mud for another 1,000 years. Perhaps Qing Yang Huan's words had touched Shimao, for a purple light reappeared and plunged directly into him. What's this?
It's a skin toughening technique. It feels so similar to our Qing Yang clan's Azure scale toughening method. No, it is our Qing Yang clan's technique, but how has it become so much more profound? A sequence of incantations appeared in his mind,
startling Qing Yang Huan for a moment before he recovered. True condensation technique! Bone tempering technique! Marrow washing technique! These are the 5 body forging techniques of my Qing Yang clan! How do you know them?
Astonishment filled Qing Yang Huan's eyes. These incantations were the very foundation of a clan's heritage. The 5 body forging techniques were coveted by every large and small tribe within a radius of 10,000 li, and now Shimao knew them. Shimao,
surrounded by purple light, remained silent, trembling violently as if trying to escape Qing Yang Huan's grasp. Qing Yang Huan understood. This was another gift from Shimao, a token of gratitude for unearthing him from the earth.
This 5 methods of body forging is extremely similar to that of the Qing Yang clan, yet it is 3 or 4 times more profound. Relying solely on these current methods, the Qing Yang clan's strength could double, of course.
This would take a considerable amount of time, at least 20 years, waiting for the next generation to grow up. But the Qing Yang clan has stood for thousands of years. 20 years is nothing. As the young master of the Qing Yang clan,
and having received the tribe's intensive cultivation, how could he not understand the benefits? But this only strengthens his resolve. Shimao cannot be allowed to leave. Who can freely comprehend the 5 methods of body forging? Be ordinary.
In comparison, the 5 methods of body forging may not be worth mentioning at all. This is merely a method of body forging. What about the methods of cultivating the divine storehouse, or even the higher level methods of spirit absorption?
This would not only be a tremendous boon for him, but also for the entire Qing Yang clan. Since the Qing Yang clan established itself in this land thousands of years ago, the strongest individual has only reached the totem mirror realm.
A legend from a millennium past. This is the bottleneck of the Qing Yang clan. Therefore, even if the entire tribe united their efforts, it is highly likely that his martial path would only reach the totem mirror realm at best.
His horizons limited to the Laxi Mountains. Even under the most optimistic projections, Shimao, perhaps, represents the opportunity for him to break free from the Laxi Mountains, because even the Qing Yang clan, at its peak,
might not be able to fully nurture a single totem mirror practitioner. This is the difference in foundation and knowledge. He cannot give up!
Refining the body according to this method is sufficient to support the body in opening 5 divine storehouses during the divine storehouse stage without collapsing. With a stroke of luck, the future totem realm is within reach.
Equivalent to the benefits of 3 years of absorbing the blood and bones of great beasts. 5 divine treasures! A gleam lit up Qing Yang Huan's eyes. The human body possesses great treasures, and opening them brings about transformation.
The divine treasure realm is about opening up the great treasures within the body. Even the Qing Yang clan's method of opening treasures can only open 3. And this isn't solely due to the technique itself, it's also related to body forging.
Without a solid foundation, forcibly opening treasures will only lead to one's body bursting and death. And even the strongest treasure opening method in the entire Lashan ancient land, he had only heard of one capable of opening 4 divine treasures now.
The stone spear was telling him that by re-cultivating his body forging according to the previous technique and establishing a solid foundation, he could actually open 5 divine treasures without his body shattering. This further confirmed his previous guess.
Perhaps the realm he could reach through a lifetime of struggle was nothing to the mysterious stone spear. So, that senior stone spear, how about I go catch another strange, powerful beast for you to enjoy? If the body forging beasts aren't palatable,
then I'll catch one at the divine treasure realm later. When I get stronger, I'll even capture spirit capture realm beasts for you to roast. The stone spear didn't react, its faint purple light even receding. Seeing no response from the stone spear,
Qing Yang Huan steeled his heart. With such a great opportunity before him, he could afford to hesitate and immediately shouted, "Senior stone spear, we men of the Great Wasteland are straightforward."
Junior was motivated by what he believed was an opportunity when he first started cultivating martial arts, continuously hunting beasts to nourish the stone spear. Since Senior Stone Spear can perceive my Qing Yang clan's 5 methods of body forging,
you should also understand my actions over these years. Our race has never lacked geniuses and prodigies. Compared to them, what makes you think you deserve this boon? Purple light swirled around the stone spear again, causing Qing Yang Huan to tremble.
From birth, he had been lauded by the entire Qing Yang clan. But now, in an instant he felt utterly bereft of support. The Qing Yang clan protects a vast expanse of mountains and rivers, including the ancient land of La Mountain.
Even though a single prefect of the human race governs tens of thousands of miles, La Mountain is insignificant compared to the entirety of human territory. The human world is vast, even within our own race. The Qing Yang clan is nothing special and he,
as its young less so. The 5 methods of body refinement are enough for you. Not enough, however. When Qing Yang Huan looked at the stone spear again,
a stubbornness unique to youth flickered across his still somewhat immature face, the youthful arrogance that refuses to yield to the vastness of heaven and earth. The stone spear hummed softly, striking towards him. Kill! At that moment,
Qing Yang Huan gritted his teeth, his blood surging like a tide. A phantom image, shaped like a tiger, emerged from his palm, exploding with a killing intent that slammed into the stone spear. But the next moment,
darkness fell before his eyes as his body was sent flying through the air, smashing through several ancient trees. The faint blood light shattered, the gathered power dispersed. Your fighting style is chaotic, your strength scattered.
Your body cultivation is devoid of energy. Your blood is weak. Even with the Chonky apparition, you cannot manifest even a hint of the murderous aura of a great beast. This is the extent of your ability. Among the equals in the great wilderness,
those who could slaughter you like ants are as numerous as the stars. The 5 methods of body cultivation are enough for you to roam a region of ancient lands. Not enough! His jaw clenched. A ferocious gleam appeared in Qing Yang Huan's eyes.
Like a wolf hunting in the depths of an ancient forest, a ruthless determination. A vow to pursue his prey relentlessly until success. Boom! The next moment, he was once again sent flying by the stone spear. The 5 methods are enough to protect your people.
Not arising to his feet again, a faint trace of blood trickled from Qing Yang Huan's lips, yet he stubbornly shook his head. My father always said, be a wolf. When you see prey, you must hold on tight, or you'll starve, in this struggle for survival.
If you encounter an opportunity, you must seize it with both hands. Chapter 3. Within 2 years. Achieve the apex of body refinement. Within the ruined ancient forest, the blood-soaked youth's eyes shone with an increasingly savage light. Boom, however.
The next moment the stone spear fell again. Qing Yang Huan fended it off with a punch, only to be sent flying once more. You're the first to treat this deity as prey. The stone spear, glimmering with a faint purple light,
flew to where Qing Yang Huan had fallen, piercing the ground directly beside his ear. This deity offers you a chance. Within 2 years, reach the apex of body refinement,
and I shall bestow upon you a cultivation technique capable of opening at least 6 hidden meridians. Prostrate on the ground, Qing Yang Huan's eyes were fixed on the stone spear. He wanted to laugh,
but the blood staining his lips and the mud on his face aggravated his wounds, causing him to gasp in pain. Senior, is this true? The stone spear, however, showed no further purple light fluctuations, clearly having fallen silent again. Ha!
Struggling to sit up, he erupted into laughter. A stroke of luck, he had finally grasped it. The vast wilderness, so large that the human race thrived in the Great Waste, where heaven and earth contended for life, so small that he
protected tens of thousands of miles. His lineage flourishing, all living beings struggled within it. Even though his entire body ached as if shattered, compared to the opportunity to leave the Laxi Mountain ancient land, it meant nothing. Worth it, paf!
Pulling the stone spear from the ground, Qing Yang Huan used it as a crutch, walking towards the edge of the ancient forest. This place was far too dangerous. Earlier, the stone spear's purple light had deterred many ferocious beasts.
Oh. Thankfully, he hadn't gone far before he heard a howling sound ahead. The familiar voices eased Qing Yang Huan's anxiety. The Qing Yang clan soldiers had begun searching for their young master.
A roar erupted from the ancient forest, the earth trembling as if a monstrous beast were passing through, its ferocious energy surging outwards. 3 li away, a group of 30 or 40 men exuded a murderous aura.
Each carried several bone spears as thick as a man's arm. They charged forward with wild howls, hurling the bone spears, piercing the ancient trees before them. Oh! A rain of bone spears tore through the ancient forest. The brawny men,
displaying unrestrained ferocity, roared their battle cries like a horde of savages, savagely crushing everything in their path. Big brother, I'm here! It's the young master! I heard the young master's voice! A voice like muffled thunder boomed. A man
8 feet tall, his rough hide unable to conceal his dark and gleaming muscles, quickly waved his hand to stop the men from throwing their spears. Qing Yang Huan also saw the dark-skinned giant, his size unsurprising.
The men of the great wilderness were all strong and rugged. Even some of the women in the tribe were large and powerful, sometimes carrying spears and fighting alongside the men,
engaging in brutal hand-to-hand combat with the beasts of the forest, fierce and formidable indeed. You little rascal! You've slipped away from the tribal guards and snuck into the ancient forest again. If I don't beat you until you're bedridden for 3 months.
Soon, a roar erupted from the ancient forest ahead. A powerfully built man, his back like a bow, burst through the trees, charging towards Qing Yang Huan, his huge hand already raised to strike. Little brother.
But upon seeing him leaning on a rough stone spear, his body covered in blood, the strong man's hand froze mid-swing. Which beast did this to you? Elder brother will hunt it down and make you a soup. His eyes blazing with fury, Qing Yang Huan roared.
At that moment, Qing Yang Huan couldn't help but glance at the stone spear, relieved that it didn't react. Seeing his pitiful state, Qing Yang Huan grumbled. The ancient forest is full of dangers. It's fortunate you only got injured.
It'll break your legs if you're not careful. Watching his elder brother trying to appear fierce, a smile touched Qing Yang Huan's lips, but the movement aggravated his wounds, causing a grimace of pain. Let's go back to the tribe immediately.
Qing Yang Huan was hoisted onto his elder brother's shoulders. Waves of pain shot through him, forcing him to clench his jaw. My elder brother is indeed a bit rough. We should head back. Mother will be worried. Thankfully, you're alright this time.
Big brother hunted a black horned python from the divine hidden realm. Absorbing its blood essence will allow you to temper your blood and bones, maybe even refine your marrow.
Let those from the Langyan and Jingo clans be envious. My younger brother is a true genius. Carrying Qing Yang Huan, Qing Yang Huan muttered incessantly. Soon, they headed towards the edge of the ancient forest, joining the Qing Yang hunting party.
The group numbered in the hundreds. Every burly man, chest bare, displaying scars, carried various hunting trophies: black bears, pythons, each at least several meters long. The strong men roared and shouted, heading towards the Qing Yang settlement.
I heard that the Langyan clan has a girl with some talent. Little brother, you should go and carry her back, to continue the line of the Qing Yang clan. Yes, young master, you're 30 now. It's time. Go to the Langyan clan and carry that girl back.
Roar! Carry her back! Carry her back! Young master, go carry her back today. These hunting trophies are gifts. Soon, we'll have a little young master. Roar! The words of his elder brother prompted the surrounding men to howl their approval,
urging Qing Yang Huan to go to the Langyan clan and carry back a wife. Clinging to a scaled horned horse, Qing Yang Huan, though aching all over, showed no embarrassment. That's how men are in the great wilderness. The more embarrassed you are,
the more they'll tease you. It's rough and unrestrained. In short order, the group returned to the Qing Yang clan's territory, a mountain range spanning more than 10 miles, situated in the heart of a barren plain.
Ancient trees intertwined their roots throughout the mountain range. Clear springs flowed, and the outer perimeter was subtly fortified with hidden bunkers, traps, and concealed locations where the glint of sharp weapons could be vaguely seen.
Several of the central mountains had been hollowed out, and 3 small valleys were visible, revealing a continuous line of stone houses. Everything about the place was strikingly rugged. They crossed a weathered stone stele,
its surface etched with the archaic cloud-patterned characters for Qing Yang, erected when the clan was founded, thousands of years ago. Returning to the tribe, he first saw his mother and endured another scolding. Afterward,
to his stone dwelling. About an hour later, The earlier, 10-foot-tall strongman arrived, carrying a black earthenware jar. Young master.
This is the essence of blood energy extracted from the Shenzang realm beast that the eldest master hunted. The strongman boomed. The strongman turned and left, and Qing Yang Huan, clutching the jar, returned to his stone dwelling.
As the young master of the Qing Yang clan, his room was surprisingly uncluttered: a stone bed, a stone table, and a large bow made from wild ox horn hanging on the wall. He sat cross-legged on the stone bed, once again gripping the stone spear. Unfortunately,
since the silence had fallen over the ancient forest, the spear remained inert. The casting body realm, this was his trial, the opportunity he had fought for and won. To gain, one must give, even as a youth.
He understood there was no such thing as a gift from heaven. In this great world, one must strive for life, for survival. Simply put, the peak of body forging is a process of refining skin, flesh, blood, bone, and marrow. Each step produces a phenomenon.
Radiant flesh, crimson blood, branded bones, and burgeoning marrow. This represents the ultimate refinement. In the Great Wilderness, body forging warriors, after completing the 5 steps of body forging,
will possess the strength of 10,000 jin, comparable to a full-grown dragon horse. Each step of body forging refines roughly 2,000 jin of strength. Now that his war bones have begun to refine, his strength has already approached 7,000 jin.
Once his body forging is complete, his strength will undoubtedly surpass 10,000 jin. However, even so, there is still a significant gap to the peak of body forging. Legend says that at the peak of body forging, after the convergence of the 5 phenomena,
manifesting the power of a Jiao dragon, a power that surpasses even a dragon horse. However, this is an opportunity presented by the stone spear. If he fails to reach the peak,
the chance to obtain another opportunity from the stone spear in the future will be even slimmer. Chapter 4, Return to the Great Wilderness. Slaughter bone markings, under the shroud of night.
The boundless darkness of the Great Wilderness still echoed with the roars of beasts. Torches had been lit in the Qingyang mountain range. Squads of Qingyang tribesmen, clad in leather armor and wielding iron spears, exuded a powerful aura of bloodlust.
Their eyes, sharp as lightning, constantly scanned the mountain range for any threat. Night was half over, yet Qing Yang Huan felt no fatigue. He had absorbed less than half of the essence of the ferocious beast's blood from the earthenware pot.
Yet his injuries were nearly healed. The rest was naturally absorbed by the blood spear. This was one of the costs of keeping the stone spear. But even so, excitement blazed in his eyes.
Absorbing the precious blood of a divine hidden realm ferocious beast caused the dormant stone spear to once again flicker with a faint purple light. Your cultivation method is crude and inefficient. Most of the absorbed blood essence is wasted.
As for the condensed Xuanqi bone inscription in your body, that's a double mistake. The harsh words echoed again in Qing Yang Huan's mind. But he didn't care. Although the Qingyang clan had a history spanning thousands of years,
their strongest members had only reached the totem mirror realm, and the highest they had ever seen was the sky above the Laxi Mountain ancient land. Now, he had an unknown being guiding him. Wasn't this a stroke of luck?
Ignorance isn't frightening. What's frightening is blind ignorance. A refusal to comprehend the truth that's incurable. Bone inscriptions are the manifestation of the great Tao of heaven and earth. In the ancient great clans,
there are strong individuals who venture into the boundless wildlands to hunt down true beasts and strange species, taking their blood, bones and essence to cultivate their young.
This is to allow them to comprehend the Tao of heaven and earth while still young. A true bone inscription should not be separated from its host body. Blood and bone resonate with the bone inscription, and the Tao manifests. Bone patterns merge with the body.
Truly understanding the power of bone patterns, leveraging them to command the Tao of heaven and earth, bone patterns entering the body further refines it to a deeper level. Your bone patterns are merely imprinted on your blood and bones.
Yet you treat them as treasures. Even if these patterns are taken from the wind, rain and lightning of a true dragon, useless for battle, what good are they? 2 hours later, the stone spear fell silent again. Yet Qing Yang Huan's eyes burned with fervent light.
The hardships of martial cultivation are such that while many can enter, achieving something great is extremely difficult. The Qing Yang clan has roughly 30,000 people. Even the women have embarked on the first stage of martial cultivation.
Body forging. But most remain at the initial stage of flesh and muscle tempering. Fewer than 1,000 have reached the divine reservoir realm. Even then, most broke through their limitations through accumulated years.
Exhausting their potential after opening one reservoir, many have reached old age, their blood and energy beginning to decline. As for the spirit capture realm above the divine reservoir, there is his father, Qing Yang Zhu, the clan.
And the Qingyang clan's guardian mountain beast, a Qing Yang hound, rumored to have lived for centuries, witnessing generations of clan chiefs, slumbering in the mountains, only awakening during clan crisis.
The stone spear's words greatly impacted his martial cultivation, making him feel even more that the Qing Yang clan, which controls vast lands, is too small. Greeting the morning sun, Qing Yang Huan, clutching the stone spear and riding a unicorn-horned horse,
charged out of the Qing Yang mountains. He stopped more than 10 miles from the mountains, looking back at the mist-shrouded peaks. Father said, Qing Yang men should stand tall and support the heavens and earth. Whining is for the women of the clan.
Real men should do manly things, guarding the Qing Yang heritage and protecting the peace of the people within a radius of 10,000 li. I've seized this opportunity and I won't give up. Clans fight for survival. Warriors fight for life.
Glancing deeply at his clan, Qing Yang Huan plunged into the primeval forest. The primeval forest, thick and oppressive, reeked of damp earth and decay, teeming with venomous insects, snakes, and ants. 2 days had passed since he received the boon from Shimao.
This time he entered the wild ancient forest alone, without the Qing Yang tribal warriors. Having grown up guarding this primeval forest, he knew its terrors well. To break through to the peak of body forging within 2 years and seize the upcoming opportunity,
he had to forge his way through. Though his tribe could still supply his cultivation needs, some tempering couldn't be replaced by resources. He needed to forge his body anew, and some battles could only be understood through personal experience. Furthermore,
the Qiongqi bone markings within him needed to be remelted. Only through true life or death struggles, through the remelting of these markings, could he unleash the mysterious power contained within them, and thus comprehend the Tao of heaven and earth.
And to reach the peak of body forging, all his previous cultivation would have to be abandoned. He would have to embark on the path of body forging anew. Towering mountains rose one after another, the ancient trees stretching endlessly.
Vines as thick as a man's arm coiled around the ancient trees like pythons. In the void, the cries of ferocious birds echoed. 3 zhang in size, a single dive would obliterate the ancient trees within a dozen zhang. Yet, amidst this destruction,
Qing Yang Huan stood unmoving. This was his 3rd day in the forest. He had encountered 27 ferocious beasts, slaying 11, severely wounding 3. The rest, upon catching sight of him, fled in frantic terror.
The twin talons of the Yonga bird sliced through the ancient forest like giant spears, tearing through the air with a sonic boom as they aimed for him. Kill! Qing Yang Huan roared, his hand gripping the stone spear as a bone-etched glyph flared to life.
The phantom of a monstrous beast erupted forth. Clang! The stone spear collided with the Yuangi bird's talon-like claws, emitting a metallic tremor. A severed claw went flying, spraying blood. The great bird shrieked in pain,
its cry echoing through the forest. Again, Qing Yang Huan swung the stone spear again, the bone glyph glowing as it descended towards the Yuanji bird's head. The bone-empowered spear crashed into the Yuanji bird's skull, cleaving a gaping wound.
Blood gushed forth like a fountain. Without hesitation, he lunged into the warm blood, drenching himself completely. Yet, his body glowed with a bloody light, every pore seeming to breathe tweet. The Yuangi bird wasn't quite dead yet.
Letting out one last desperate roar, Qing Yang Huan reached out, seizing its neck. A flash of bloody light, and its neck was broken. Blood gushed out even more violently. Men born in the Great Wasteland are steeped in blood from birth.
So he felt no fear for what he had done. His blood energy was nearly depleted. This self-mutilation, done after prior cultivation, would minimize the impact on his body. A resolute and ruthless glint shone in Qing Yang Huan's eyes. Ah!
A beast-like roar echoed, his body shimmering with bloodlight, erupted with internal heat like a volcano, streams of blood energy erupting from his pores. The bloodlight that had previously enveloped his body, like a torrential flood,
now spilled out all at once. Even though he'd already consumed most of his blood energy over the past few days, the pain still caused him to collapse onto the Yuanji bird's pelt. Break to rebuild. 3 years of body forging had caused a rigidity within him.
To reach the peak he had to start anew. Furthermore, and most importantly, there were the bone patterns derived from the Qiongqi's blood energy, a treasure he couldn't bear to waste. Large beads of sweat mingled with blood,
distorting his youthful features with intense pain. Ancestor stone spear, help me re-understand the Qiongqi bone patterns. The words were gritted out between clenched teeth. From the blood energy squeezed from his body, a phantom glow solidified,
taking the form of a tiger, like beast with wings. The fearsome Yonqi, even dissipated into blood energy, its ferociousness remained. As Qing Yang Huan finished speaking, a flash of purple light briefly flickered across the otherwise silent stone spear. Poof!
The illusory Qiongqi roared in fury. It was still shattered by the stone spear, reconstituting itself as a mass of dark light. Qing Yang Huan, disregarding everything else, clasped the dark light in his palm. Condense instantly. A violent,
murderous energy surged into his body, wreaking havoc throughout. A searing, bone-deep pain racked his limbs and body, as if insects were tearing at his flesh. Even the warmth of the Yuanji bird's blood energy couldn't bring him any solace.
And a thick stream of blood, like a small river, poured down from above, absorbed into his body. The surging blood, like a tide, enveloped Qing Yang Huan, turning him into a blood-soaked figure.
The essence of the blood and bones of the Xuanhuan, refined according to the method imparted by the stone spear, was merely a wisp of illusory blood energy in his eyes, beginning to transform into a crescent moon-shaped mark, radiating intense slaughter savagery.
The Xuanhuan was inherently a ferocious beast, born for slaughter and bloodshed. Even a creature with only a trace of Xuanhuan blood, this inherent savagery and bloodlust remained unchanged. He sat like this for 3 days and 3 nights. Continuously beasts,
drawn by the scent of blood, approached, only to be instantly killed by the stone spear, their scalding blood essence absorbed by Qing Yang Huan. The Xuanhuan, a ferocious beast born to slaughter the world. Could this be the Tutsi slaughter bone mark 3 days later?
When Qing Yang Huan opened his palm again, a vague crescent moon manifested in his palm, radiating an aura of savagery and slaughter, stirring within him an irresistible urge for extreme violence. Chapter 5, Wrinkled Skin. The Ancient Forest Tribes.
Feeling the crescent moon mark, Qing Yang Huan understood how fortunate he was. No wonder the stone spear held him and even the entire Qing Yang clan in such disdain.
The bone mark derived from the essence of the ferocious beast's blood and bones was legendary in the Qing Yang clan and even across the entire Lushan ancient land. Throughout history, countless strong individuals had mastered the bone mark.
Dominating the wilderness, even within the Qing Yang clan, several individuals appeared in each generation, yet they merely used bone patterns to increase their strength. The stone spear, however, revealed to him the true path.
To completely merge bone patterns with the body, indistinguishable from one another, using the body's senses to comprehend the bone patterns, truly making them one's own, not merely imitating or imprinting them.
The immense power of the primordial beasts stemmed from the bone patterns within their bodies. These were manifestations of the Tao of heaven and earth, the very medium for comprehending the grand Tao.
The ultimate source of understanding the ways of heaven and earth. This was a fundamental transformation. For 3 days, he continuously absorbed the blood essence of the ferocious beasts. Through this repeated process,
a connection formed between the slaughter bone pattern and his own body. The next moment, the bone pattern manifested in his palm shattered. He could no longer summon it, clearly still far from even entering the threshold.
Integrating bone patterns requires comprehension. This bone pattern from a weak chimera beast was extremely crude, but served as a decent starting point. If, in the future, you can use this medium to comprehend slaughter, condensing your own Tao.
Even if you encounter a true chimera, you could tear it apart. Senior stone spear. Aren't the bone patterns in the primordial beasts innate? But the stone spear remained silent, leaving Qing Yang Huan somewhat embarrassed. In 3.
You absorbed 13 ferocious beasts. Remember what you must do. After a humming sound, the stone spear fell silent again. Only then did Qing Yang Huan look around and see the ground littered with the hides of ferocious beasts.
The corners of his mouth unconsciously curled into a smile. Stone Spear's 3 days of protection weren't for nothing. He needed to repay the 13 ferocious beasts by hunting 10 times that number for it to absorb.
But compared to the opportunity he had gained, even 100-fold repayment wouldn't bother him. If he couldn't repay immediately, he could do it slowly. Perhaps he could even keep Stone Spear by his side. What he truly grasped was his own opportunity.
The killing bone patterns from the Taiheng Xuanqi corresponded to the killing Tao techniques of the heavens. His father had comprehended these techniques, but only after entering the spirit absorption realm. He, however,
was only in the body forging stage and had already begun to walk this path. I wonder how I compare to the descendants of those ancient powerful clans. Far behind. Hurry and hunt ferocious beasts. Stone Spear hummed abruptly, sweeping him away. Puff.
Deep within the ancient forest, several ancient trees were smashed one after another. A 3-zhang-tall crimson fire rhinoceros was pierced through the head by a stone spear, its skull shattered. Its rich blood energy directly extracted.
By a waterpool 10 lion radius, a giant crocodile roared, its massive tail radiating a chilling aura. Sweeping towards Qing Yang Huan, caught off guard, he was sent flying. But the next moment, a murderous aura exploded.
The killing intent merging with the stone spear as it slammed into the crocodile's body. The seemingly crude stone spear cleaved the crocodile in two, blood spraying more than 10 meters away. Several breaths later, the crocodile finally collapsed.
Blood gushing forth like a small river. A faint, unstable aura of killing intent swirled around Qing Yang Huan, flickering in and out of existence. Having absorbed the crocodile's blood essence, he moved several miles from the pool to a small mountain,
where he carved a cave and sealed himself inside. With the stone spear in hand, he had nothing to fear from the beasts of this ancient forest. Leaning against the damp rock wall, the small cave was thick with the stench of blood.
His hair and animal hide robes were matted and stuck together. 10 days had passed since he'd refined the bone patterns anew. He'd been searching for that feeling of slaughter, but to no avail. Only when fighting ferocious beasts did that aura briefly appear.
Regardless, had undeniably felt the benefits. This was a power truly under his control. Unlike before, when he needed blood essence to trigger it, he reached down to his waist, a tingling numbness spreading beneath his skin, as if ants were crawling there.
These days had been a cycle of fighting and fleeing from monstrous beasts. Thankfully, he remained within the several hundred-mile radius of the Qing Yang clan. Where no powerful, strange creatures existed, he wouldn't go looking for death.
Not in a particularly dangerous place. But the next moment Qing Yang Huan tore a piece of old skin, caked with dried blood, from his waist. The newly formed flesh had a fine, textured feel. The skin was wrinkled. Immediately, he understood.
The rough texture of his flesh, like the scales of a ferocious beast, was a phenomenon only seen when pushing the limits of the skin-tempering stage of body forging. In just a few days, his skin had wrinkled, and he had reached it. Not only that,
because he had abandoned his previous body forging cultivation, his original 7,000 jin of strength had plummeted to less than 1,000, forcing him to continuously flee and hunt beasts in the ancient forest for 3 days.
Replenishing his depleted energy, now his blood ki had surged to 5,000 jin. Strictly speaking, he had only just reached the first step of skin tempering in body forging. At this rate, once he reached the second step,
his strength would surpass that of the 4th step he was previously aiming for. Of course, the slaughter he had experienced these few days far exceeded anything he had endured in his entire previous life. The blood on him, and the pain,
were dozens or hundreds of times greater. Having re-cultivated the stone spear and improved the skin forging method, he had absorbed the blood chi essence of dozens of ferocious beasts to reach this point. No wonder the stone spear had said that bone patterns,
integrated with the body, were the true path of cultivation. The faint aura of slaughter raged through his body like a knife, forcing him to desperately absorb blood qui essence to sustain his strength. This process repeated incessantly,
making it impossible for him to avoid body forging. Stone spear in hand, he had survived the perilous night. Seated in the cave, he calmly cultivated the improved body forging technique. Beneath his blood-stained beast-hide robe,
a layer of old skin had sloughed off, replaced by faintly visible wrinkles like the bark of an old tree. But when he awoke, these wrinkles had receded into his flesh. As the sun rose, Qing Yang Huan left the cave.
He had a feeling that the more he killed and the more the bone patterns within him resonated, the stronger his body forging would become. Wrinkled skin would be followed by the radiance of flesh and blood, the most crucial step in solidifying the body.
Flesh and blood are the source of ki. A warrior with abundant flesh and blood naturally possesses abundant vitality. To quickly reach the stage of radiant flesh and blood, the murderous bone patterns within him would be indispensable. Previously,
he had worried whether he could reach the peak of body forging within 2 years. But now he felt a surge of confidence. Roar! Deep within the ancient forest, vast swaths of ancient trees toppled as a ferocious roar shook the forest,
causing the trees to rustle violently. Numerous beasts frantically fled in all directions. Red-tailed fire rhinos, iron-scaled mountain leopards, golden-hooved unicorns, all body-forging realm beasts. Amidst dozens of these creatures,
Qing Yang Huan was also running, strangely finding himself in a state of uneasy peace with the surrounding beasts. Several miles away, a bizarre purple electric silver striped weasel, no more than a foot long, was incredibly ferocious.
Driving the beasts in one direction, he was swept up in the tide of beasts, carried deeper into the ancient forest. A stench of decay hung heavy in the air, punctuated by the occasional gurgling sound. This was a swamp,
a fated mire where bubbling putrescence rose to the surface, littered with scattered bones. Hidden beneath the ancient trees at the swamp's edge, Qing Yang Huan gazed out at the fetid expanse.
This place was undeniably sinister. A purple marten was herding a ferocious beast towards the swamp's depths. At that moment, a withered, stunted tree barely 10 feet tall on the swamp's edge lunged at a crimson-tailed fire rhino.
Its decaying branches pierced the rhino's hide without hesitation. Despite the rhino's frantic struggles, within a few breaths, it was drained of blood and bone, the withered branches stained with a lurid, crimson residue. Witnessing this scene,
Qing Yang Huan gasped. The rhino was merely at the initial casting body realm. Even he could have taken it down. But that wasn't the crucial point. It was the monstrous tree before him. Blood-sucking tree. Instinctively, he gripped his stone spear tighter.
In that instant, the spear pulsed with violet light, radiating a potent aura of slaughter. Kill the alien!
The audiobook for chapters 1 to 5 of this issue has concluded. Subscribe to this channel, turn on the notification bell, share and leave your comments. I will continue to update subsequent content.